What happened? Please tell me. Oh, they are? Yeah, that's Indiana. Go be Indiana. Indiana.
Why you look at me? I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah, so needs to be approved.
Yeah.
Oh, I retired.
Get her.
That's a great thing to do. So you get this.
No, I tell you what, to see my dad. I was in the class. I was supposed to. It wasn't started. I was supposed to eat lunch. I didn't snuck out. Sure. No, it's just like
Hey Johnny, how far did you chase to get them shoes?
You're starting.
I'm just kidding.
All right, like always, y'all pray with me, then we will say the pledge, get started. Pray with me. Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here this evening. We ask that you watch over our community. We ask that you watch over our city and county. We ask that you watch over any of our loved ones that are hurt and sick, and ask you bless Mr. Jimmy Davis's family as they experience the loss. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we need approval of the agenda since this isn't a special call. So if you want to change something or add something, you may. You're entertaining a motion to approve.
I think we need to add a special call agenda to the header for this.
It is not, is it?
It is
Since
not.
we have
It's my
advertised.
understanding this was advertised as a public hearing. That's how we were able to add the things that we were able to add.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as stated.
Thank you, sir. Do you have a second? All those in favor? Very good. First up is public hearing. We're going to open this public hearing. This public hearing pertains to our 2025 budget, of a few modifications to the budget of the proposed budget amendments that we discussed last week. Council, do y'all have any questions on those before we open it up for discussion? All right, the floor is open to discuss anything on the budget amendments for 2025. Hearing none, we will close the public hearing for the budget of 2025 and move on to the next theme of consideration of adopting the amended 2025 budget. We need a motion.
Can I just get a summary of it? Statement for the public, just a summary.
Summary of what's changed.
Basically, as you scroll through it here, this is where we made some references to different accounts and how they were adjusted, in which GL they would have gone to. And that's what you will see here with the final number here of $1,128,531.17. Mainly was allowed with health insurance, debt service with interest, paving and sidewalks, and really under that, but there was 90,000. That is the LMIG. And the other one would be the different advances from water fund and the ARPA funds of $132,000. Which that, as he told us the other day in our audit, we had a fund balance of right at $7,000.
There's something like 25 changes to go through that the auditors have requested. And that's what we're looking at here to change.
And we do this on an annual basis. Some cities or counties that do it on a monthly or quarterly basis. We do it at the very end in June.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adopt the amended 2025 budget.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a second?
I'll say that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the second reading of the special use permit for 415 Fisk Avenue with conditions. Those conditions pulled up here.
And they're listed in your ordinance there. That'll be number 1, or section 2, starting with number 1.
Yeah, hold on, Thomas, let me put you to the microphone. Thomas wants to speak.
We can't hear you. You have, okay.
Okay, Thomas.
So this is the second reading of the ordinance to approve the special use permit. The conditions that were discussed with the other night and with the applicant are in the ordinance itself. There is an attachment to the ordinance because some of the conditions are specific to different parts of the 415 Fisk. So this is because there were changes to because of the addition of the conditions at the meeting. There has to be a second reading of it, and so it's before you all for second reading.
You guys, if you scroll all the way on your phone or on your tablet there, you will see at the very end of this, it's probably 4 or 5 pages, you're gonna see a colored plaque of area A being a light blue and area B being a orangey color. The existing building,
Quote, and they quote you as 1G.
yes. It is the existing building is in area A. Remember, I was trying to say that that we would only have 8 units within the building. And so what I tried to do was clean this up when I met with Alan and Philip and Jerry, and so that we were site specific. And if you go back now to those, number 4 on that list, total number of dwelling units shall not exceed 8. This condition shall apply to the area shown as area A on the plat attached as exhibit A to this ordinance. Same thing with number 3. No additional residential buildings, detached apartments, duplexes, townhomes, dwellings, or similar structure may be constructed under the special use permit. This condition shall apply to the area shown as area A on the plat attached. So that is, those conditions right there are strictly for area A. And if you go down to number 10, any future expansion of the use, increase in unit count, new residential construction, or material change to the site as determined by the city manager must come back before council as a new request. This condition shall apply to the area shown as area B on the plat attached as exhibit A to the ordinance. So that clears up any confusion. We're only talking about section A and the existing building. And Alan and Philip there agreed with this in this change. So those are the three additions, 2 for A and 1 for B.
Is that on the separating A and B here? Is that a real street or is that a alley?
That is an unopened street.
Okay. So it's not an existing street.
Yes.
Is there a Michigan street? Other than, I guess, a park.
Yeah, so that would just be what you see there in front of.
Okay.
But that's a great picture worth 1,000 words of clarity, in my opinion.
Some of the other conditions still on there, as far as trash collection, must be screened and maintained, exterior lighting must be dark sky, not pointing towards the neighbors. Parking must be on site, no street parking. All the things that we talked about. No hotels, no short-term rentals, no boarding houses, no dorms, no rehabs, no transit lodging.
One of the questions that Alan and Philip asked me was, as they get a section of these AUs done, could they go ahead and get an occupancy permit on those units? And I called Hampshire County, who does our inspections, and they said that they would have to review the plans and specs first to be able to answer that question.
Very good. With this being a public hearing, we'll open the floor up for any conversation. How about 4? You like to speak?
It's not.
Well, we're gonna.
I just want to say we didn't advertise it at
Yeah,
a public hearing.
Well,
You're okay.
You're good.
I'm good, okay. First of all, thank you, Mayor and City Manager and Council for the opportunity, and again, I appreciate your consideration. One of the things I wanted to address was the stormwater issue. City Manager Mark, if I remember correctly, you had indicated that EPD may need to be involved. Okay. So we called EPD, and they were here yesterday. We had a look at it. This is on their website. If you go to their website and look up complaint, they call it a complaint or case, whatever you want to call it. Number 117117, they have closed the case, and this is what they said. Spoke with the caller, who was me, who met with an engineer. They sent an environmental engineer out to discuss the drainage concerns on the property. Information regarding the buffer variance requirements was provided. Caller was informed that up to 100 square foot of riprap for bank stabilization may be installed without a buffer variance under minor land disturbing activity guidelines. And we informed them, of course, we're not moving dirt. An official state water determination on the channel in question has not been made. No further action from EPD is needed at this time. The inspector that was here also said, that was from Jonathan Harris with EPD, and then the inspector that came, who my understanding is an environmental engineer, said no violations of Georgia code were observed. He took photos. They're also on the website. So that addresses the stormwater issue. They had no issue with what was going on there because there's no creek there other than what's downstream. It's a stormwater issue. And they said, if you put the riprap there, that should be fine. We also called called a civil engineer out who looked at it today to give us recommendations. And so they're trying to determine, what needs to be done to correct this. My point is we're making a good faith effort, council, to do everything that you've asked us to do. We have talked with EPD as you had said probably needed to be involved. So I just want you to know we're doing everything we can to try to comply.
Thank you for that. Philip, thank you very much for that information.
Thank you. We've also talked with neighbors around to find out how they feel. Um, Talked with Joy Ward, Martha Eller, Ben Shore, Harry Churchill. These people have voiced support for what we're doing. We've also, I would refer back to a couple of letters that were submitted in April from Mike Ramsey and Rebecca Purcell. So there's no land disturbance that's going on in Area A. That should correct or should address the concerns for people who had a problem with erosion. We're trying to address the erosion problem that's there now. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is we've done everything we know to do to comply. And, but regardless, I want you to know, I respect what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to represent your citizens, and I respect that. So if it doesn't go our way, I understand. So, but we're asking for your consideration and for your vote. So thank you very much.
Council, y'all have any questions? Anybody here to speak against it? All right, then. Council, how would you like to proceed?
So,
All right, so I've had a bad day today. I think I was sick in the middle of the night and I don't even remember it. I overslept. Doctor's appointment this morning was awakened around 9:30. My boss calling, answered the phone, and I said, "What time is it?" Which is something I don't think anybody wants to say to their boss when they call them in the morning. Anyway, so I've been kind of ill on my stomach this morning. That was before I found out that we weren't going to have a full council here tonight. Of course, when we voted on this last week, it was a 3-1 vote, and me being in the minority of that vote. But I wanted to make sure that if we're going to have to do this all over again, that I try to look at this from every direction that I can think from this. So despite my ill stomach for the whole day, I've also had anxiety about this all day today. I've spoken with a lot of people on the phone that are citizens here and just trying to get a feel about what they think. And my main opposition that I've had on this entire project was that I think most people in the city, including myself, we don't want to see this turn into apartment city. So what signal would approving changing an area from business to multifamily send to any future developers that want to circle around the city like vultures? I wish I had a time machine where I could fast forward 10, 15 years from now into the future and see, is my anxiety for nothing, or did my worst fears happen with this? But I've given it a lot of thought and spoken with a lot of people, and probably even up to about an hour ago, I was still, if you asked me 1 minute how I was going to vote on this, I'd tell you one thing. You asked me 5 minutes later, I'd tell you something else. But I think ultimately I have not heard, any widespread disagreement with what Philip and Alan would like to do with this building here. I think most people are okay with that. And it just comes to a matter of trust So we've got all these conditions that we have put on this now separated property for this land. So it comes down to a matter of trust. Us approving this rezoning for that one section, which really just includes the building and the parking lot, versus how does that affect the future of this city? Because I think if I took a poll here, I don't think one person here wants this entire city to turn into apartment city on this. So I think that after doing a lot of talking with a lot of people, I wasn't very, I don't think I was in a very enviable position today. And I'm not speaking for my fellow council members, because my assumption was that they were going to vote the same as they did last week. So it ultimately came up to a decision for me whether I was willing to entertain taking another look at this and revisiting that vote, or if I was going to hold my foot in the sand and continue to say no. And I think I've spoken with some of the other council here, and I get their feelings for it. Spoken with the public, got some of their feelings for it. I wish I could have had the chance to spoken to Councilman Davis, but I wasn't going to call somebody that had a loss in their family to give me his thoughts on this. That being said, I think this is the first time I've ever been in a position where I guess it's my vote that determines this if all things else stay the same. Certainly most times you're shielded either from being in the majority of a vote or as a minority of vote. And you're not put in a position where it may be up to one person whether they change their vote or not. I think ultimately, and last person that I spoke with on this is that I told everybody that I wasn't going to make a decision until I spoke with Mr. Shore on this, because it certainly is going to impact his property more than anybody else, especially with the issues that we currently have with the stormwater runoff on that. But even so, my decision was still going to be my own. So I think that after doing a lot of soul searching and thinking and talking to a lot of people and having anxiety the entire day, that I think I'm gonna go ahead. Council approved this last week, 3-1, where to do that. And I don't like to Monday morning quarterback council's decision or previous councils that have made decisions on things. So I think that after doing all that soul searching today, I'm okay with this property being developed and turned into the villas that the applicants have applied for on this. But I also want to send a strong message to any potential developer out there that this is only an exception, only because this is an existing building that's already there. Had this been a case where there was no building there, the answer would be a flat no on this. I do not want apartments to spread or to snowball into that business corridor of that. I think that we're in a position in this city where you know, on the outside looking in, it doesn't look like we have very many apartments, but we also have a college. And you factor in all the dorms and everything from that college, that we probably have the most transient population in the entire county. But that's where I have landed on this.
Are we gonna entertain that as a motion, sir?
Let me
Yeah.
go ahead and say that I've had an amazing day. And I have zero anxiety about this building since we have made these rules, and the builders have agreed to those. I think it's a great use of a building, and I think it's also, the people that I've talked to have said they would rather it be used than fallen in, and we have enough of that. And I would rather our community look fresh and used than used up. And so I have no problems with sustaining my vote for these builders, and I can't wait to see what that community looks like. Thank you.
All right, council, do we have a motion?
I'll
Take
make
yours
that,
as a motion, sir.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second. All those in favor, move forward.
Aye.
Very good, 3 votes. Next is consideration of the second reading of changing to the new table 7.1 of the zoning ordinance. This is to add the Pilates. Council, how would you like to proceed with this?
If I may, yes, sir, Mayor, if you will scroll down to number 61, you will see we had health spa already, and the terminology that we used was and exercise studios. Here's a copy of it. And Jerry, Nine, Sean. I'll have one. Spare. All right. So that's the difference there, but I'm also giving you this table 7.1 is, Sean had said last week, we need to do some cleanup of this. So this is your homework assignment, is to look at these, and it will be an agenda item. If we decide to continue with this, that you would give us new ideas on the July 7th meeting or prior to look at other things. We clean this up and be a little more generic with some different ideas of some business types. This is only for industrial, business 1, business 2, and light industrial. This is only for the categories. It starts at number 1 and goes all the way to number 129.
That was industrial.
Right here at the top, it's IOP will be in office and professional,
Okay.
B1, B2, and light industrial.
Very good.
So please think about these. And that's the only change to this legislation.
All right. Council, how would you like to proceed with adopting the new table 7.1?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, do we have a second? All those in favor?
All right.
All right, council, thank you for your time. We need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
A second?